Hello everyone, welcome to the Alpha Hustle. Here is a daily review of Nifty and Bank Nifty on how market auction today, what markets failed to do with important references for tomorrow's auction. Let's quickly get started. Let's start with the review of Nifty. Finally, buyers are able to stop one-time framing to the downside and start one-time framing to the upside. Market opened with a small gap that got filled immediately in the A period. However, sellers failed to probe into yesterday's range and value area that led the auction to the upside in the A and B periods. Buyers exhausted in B and C periods, right within the gap left on the 26th of Feb, that led the inventory adjustment of week longs that got accumulated in the A and B periods all the way to the day's low. Responsive buyers stepped in to shut off the selling right within the HVN from yesterday. Multiple attempts were made by the sellers in H and I period that have failed to probe into yesterday's value area and range and find acceptance. This led the short covering rally in the last hour and closed at the high point of the day. This gives an advantage for the buyers into tomorrow's open. Similar to yesterday, today's auction too was controlled by the day time frame buyers and sellers as opposed to longer time frames. Why is that the case? Sellers from the open that tried to probe into yesterday's range and value area are met by responsive buyers right at yesterday's close, making it a weak reference. Similarly, buyers that exhausted in B and C periods is due to responsive sellers appearing right at the R2 pivot. Again, the selling has been shut down by the buyers right at the central pivot that led the short covering rally in the last hour. All these are weak hand traders appearing at exact visual references. Buyers have the advantage into the closing. However, it all depends on where the market opens tomorrow. In case if the markets open within today's range, then potentially we may have all these weak references cleared out. But it all depends on how the market opens tomorrow. References to the upside, acceptance of the last hour spike would mean probe into the supply gap of 14,950 and 15,050 and fill up with some volume. Rejection of spike is likely to probe the pullback low of 14,803, and any acceptance below has odds for probe of today's low, below which the sellers are going to start the one-time framing yet again. Bank Nifty has been weaker compared to Nifty today. Similar to Nifty, Bank Nifty 2 is dominated by day time frame traders appearing at exact references. Today's low is weak, which is exactly to the tick of yesterday's low. Despite sellers appear to be a bit stronger in this counter by extending the range to the downside with value area overlapping lower to yesterday's value area. Broadly, the market is still balancing within the Friday's range, forming a 3-day balance. So bigger moves likely only when the market moves out of this balance. While the market trades in this zone, it's likely to be choppy. References to the upside, 2-day balance high of 35,755. Any acceptance above is likely to probe into A period single prints from Friday and gap at 36,100. References to the downside, rejection of today's close is likely to probe the week lows at 34,983. Acceptance below may head for retest of last week's low at 34,660. That's all for today. Thank you very much for joining and listening. If you find this content useful, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.